Hello, welcome back. This is my second video in my three-video series of learning chess theory for three very common openings. The second opening in this series is the Scotch Gambit, a very easy to learn, very useful opening that starts with a very commonly used move, e4. This is the most common move in chess, and followed up by this would be the most common move by black, which is e5. These two moves both aim to take control of the center, then developing their pawns. White would like to develop the knight and attack the pawn on e5 with knight c3, and black would like to defend their pawn with knight c6. From this point on, d5, d4 would be the move to start the Scotch Gambit. This is a Scotch Gambit, and in most cases, black's going to take. The thought process behind this is you're going to develop the bishop, and if needed, white can initiate a trade with the knight on f3 and take back, resulting in equal material and with no material loss, while also developing one bishop. So white would take, black would take, and white would develop the bishop to c4. With bishop c4, white has the option to do a fried liver attack with knight g5 and then knight f7, threatening a fork with the queen and rook. In the specific variation of the Beniba defense, black would play bishop e7, preventing the usage of the fried liver attack. This is most usually seen in more newer players who have been attacked by the fried liver and want to avoid it. But a problem with this is that it can be easily exploited. Let me show you. White will play pawn c3, giving black the option to take another free pawn, in which most cases they will. Black would take. But this allows the queen to move to d5, threatening checkmate on f7 in the next move. Queen will go to d5, threatening checkmate. And in this case, black has no options. He cannot move the pawn, or queen will checkmate on f7. So, or move the king, since as well it will be checkmate on the next move. So black would play knight h6. The only move that would defend black from checkmate. But since knight h7 knight h6 is not a good move, since bishop can take here and black's king side will be massively exposed. And that's what we'll do. White will take the pawn, take the knight on h6, and threaten to take on pawn on g7 to open up white's defense. But while white also has an option to check for the next move, unless the rook moves to f7, but then which bishop would take on g7, and the rook would be threatened to move again. So black's only option here is to castle. Castling would remove the threat of queen takes f7 checkmate, but the bishop on h6 is still an issue. So white would have an option of taking on g7, and black would of course take back, since if they don't, it will be a very big loss, since the dark-colored bishop will be very dangerous, since they can trap the king on f7 and attack on h8, h8 and f8. So black would take back, and white would take back the pawn on c3. In this position, white has not lost any pieces, which means the gambit is very successful. Black had a very open king with minimal defenses, while white can castle the king and bring their rooks in. So the Scotch Gambit is a very useful gambit that can be used in many different cases. This is just one variation of the many different variations that can be played. But if you were to specifically encounter bishop e7 on move 4, this will be a very easy way to win many games. Thank you.